Here I am, guys. Welcome to my new studio here, and I'm actually at the Rocket Jump Ninja studio, and we are going to be testing out budget eBay and AliExpress gaming mice, because over the last, every time I collaborate with Rocket Jump Ninja, you guys request, hey, please take a look at cheap mice. Like, are they any good? Can we actually get some frags with these things? And this is the thing, here today, we are legit going to try use these things, tell you the pros and cons of each of them. I mean, that's if they have any pros, and tell you if they're worth buying or not. So pretty much let's get into the contestants here. We've got the G10 Rhasta Pro Gaming Mouse. Kind of looks like it's a ripoff of Fantech, sort of like Fantech or something. And then this one here, Red Dragon. This one I've actually got some hope and promise for, because it looks like they're using decent gear in there, like Avago, Red Dragon keyboards as well. I know for a fact they're really good. And you got Omron switches in there. So it looks like it's got quality from the get-go. But then we've got this one here. I don't even some of these, I have to pull up the listings and show you what they were, because they're just no-name brands that look half decent. So I bought them up. This one is literally like a G203 ripoff. And it came in a generic white box here. And same with this one. This is like a Razer, kind of like a Death Adder ripoff in a generic box. And then this one here is actually a budget keyboard mouse combo that I actually sell with keyboard mouse monitor combos. So it's really basic, but I've used this already, and I can say it's actually a half decent little entry mouse. And here we are now with the king of mice reviews, Rocket Jump Ninja, aka Zai. And what do you think going into this comparison about cheap gaming mice?
Okay, we're going to be completely serious about this. I'll just take you down here. I'll give you a bit of a, come with me, cameraman. Down here, we're looking at the mice now. All right, quick tour. This one is utter garbage. This one, also garbage. This one, garbage. This one, still garbage. And that one, garbage. So I've tested them out thoroughly, and that is my conclusion.
Wait, we haven't even tried them yet.
Do we actually need to, or?
Well, yes, we've got to give them a proper fair go, because it's I don't know, maybe people are like, look, I don't want any brand tax, because there is always going to be brand tax with Logitech or Razer, etc. What if there is a guy who gets access, say for instance, gets access to whatever parts Logitech are getting, and implements something very similar, but...
So you're asking me whether this cheap knockoff is actually going to be good at all?
Could be like...
And you're not doing it as a joke or anything? This is serious?
No, yeah, I'm serious. People
you really think this might be okay?
People have hounded us for years. We have to try this and give it a proper run, that's all.
Okay.
See if we can change our minds.
I will try to be open-minded.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not an Aorus mouse.
After further consideration, they're still garbage.
You still haven't tried them though.
Fine. Let's try them then.
So the first order of business is we're going to try these mouse out in Quake Live. It's Quake Live, yeah?
Quite live.
And that's going to basically tell us, because Rocket Jump Ninja has a lot of experience with Quake. Is it over 55 years now?
Going 56, actually.
Okay, 56 years of experience in Quake. And he's going to be able to tell you if these mice, if he can actually hit shots in them. And I'm going to be versing him as well. I'm going to be the guy putting him to the test. So if I'm being any good on the eBay gaming mice, then you know they're still garbage, mate. So here it is here. First up, Xplorer 2000 SL.
Dude, the cable doesn't even reach.
I mean, that's what do you expect? $5?
Yeah, they saved on the cable.
So it's not
It's
really
still
tracking.
moving.
Huh?
It's moving after I move it.
Oh, so it's lagging.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a laggy mouse. The $5 mouse is free input lag. you're getting it as a bonus added into your mouse. So like basically the input lag is going to stop you from using this properly anyway. So, but I mean, can you frag with it? That's the thing. This first mouse.
I can frag with anything.
Like I mean, okay. So like if you've only got $5 and you want to know if your PC gaming is for you, like yeah, wow. Okay, so you can still aim with it.
Oops.
Like you can actually still aim okay with it. So maybe all you need is a bit of input lag. Alright, so tell us your verdict about it. I mean, like, if it's a stepping stone is the main thing I guess we're focusing on.
I mean, not really. You don't really want to get used to a mouse that's not going to perform at a decent level. Even for $5, I mean, unless you're really desperate. You can't really see it maybe on the footage, but there's a lot of stutter in the sensor. There's also input delay and actual lag on the sensor. So yeah, look, I can hit shots, and we'll get to that in a second, but rocket jumping is a chore. It's really hard to actually get a proper movement, proper flick, but it's not impossible. So yeah, look, you can use pretty much any mouse, but should you, and do you really want to? Probably not. Let's see if I can hit a rail.
See, the thing is, I think this guy's name, he doesn't realize we're the actual guys who are clown mode right now.
Oops. Headshots. Completely pointless in Quake. It's kind of just a bragging right.
So your recommendation with this one basically is save your $5. Like save up.
Definitely save up for at least a $10 mouse.
So let's get on to the $10 mice then. So next up here we've got the, what is this thing called?
Hongsund.
Hongsund. And yeah, Zai's gonna play around with this. I think this one is $10, around that price point. So let's see if the $10 mouse does any better than the $5 mouse.
Damn it. Okay, so this one's gonna be much better. It's very much a Death Adder shape, but in the medium size range. So smaller Death Adder V2 actually. They've got the shape of the Mamba side on the right. Some people will know what I mean by that. But you notice there is some tracking issues. The sensor's not amazing or anything. It is usable at 60 Hz, which I assume people would be using if they're buying these mice. They probably wouldn't really notice it. But on 240 Hz, like I am right now, it's definitely noticeable. The good thing is that the sensor seems to be holding up. I can actually rocket jump, unlike the last one.
So this could be the stepping stone that people are looking for until they're ready to, say, buy a $40 or $50 mouse or something.
Yeah, I am actually feeling pretty comfortable with this one. Other than, you know, obviously the weight, the cable's not very flexible, and all the modern advancements that I'm very much used to, I am missing. But that said, like, I can still give this a solid try. I can move around properly, I can actually hit shots. I'm gonna jump right at him.
So it's not Garbo.
I mean, it is, but it's not complete Garbo.
Okay. So it's just Gar.
Okay, so the last mouse was garbage that was thrown out a week ago. This was thrown out about 2 days ago. Still garbage, just how long has it been rotting?
Well, yeah, that's right. Some garbage is good, you know.
No, I said it's still garbage, and all garbage is bad. Just some is not as rotten as the other garbage. I mean, if I can hit another shot here... Alright, he's being tricky.
He's actually, he's playing with you, eh?
Yeah, he's solid. So I'm gonna hit him with a rocket. Okay. Take that. So even with the input latency on the mouse, which I'm sure is there, nowhere near as bad as the other one, you can still hit some decent shots and actually play alright.
So there you have it with the Hongsund. That, like, honestly, it didn't do too bad. I mean, for Rocket Jump to say that it's, like, not bad, I guess it's a really good thing for budget enthusiasts. So our friend Clown Mode, he left, unfortunately. due to technical difficulties. We've now got Goatee Boaty, and he's our subject. Like, we need a player against Zai so Zai can get some practice and stuff. Anyway, we've got the G102 ripoff here. What's this called?
The S900.
The S900. It's got, doesn't even look like it's RGB. It just has like lights placed in particular spots in the mouse, which I guess you could call it RGB maybe. But anyway, let's get onto this mouse and see if it passed any test. Now, I think this one is around the same price as the Hongsund as well. I think it's around 10 bucks. So we're gonna get into this and see what Zai's thoughts are on mouse number 3. So mouse number 2, the Hongsund, is still, it's leading the pack by the looks of it then.
It is. I mean, this sensor is very much similar to the last one, but on this one I feel like there's some delay. And we're never going to check this because it's not worth the investment of time. But yeah, I mean, compared to the first one, this is way better. But compared to the second one, not so much.
Okay, so number 2, the Hongsund is leading the race. You guys have heard it here first. But this one still suffers from, what is it, short cable length?
Pretty much every problem you can think of with mice, these have, but they're usable.
So what are generally the problems with cheap mice?
So the feet are not going to be as good, the cable's not going to be as long or as good, as flexible, soft, etc. The sensors are not going to perform as smoothly, so even just turning like this, right there, you see that it's kind of jerky. You won't be able to see it on the footage. You can definitely see it on 240 Hertz, but as I said, 60 Hertz you probably won't care. There's also going to be latency, as I was talking about. That's a beautiful shot. Step into my crosshair, so I don't have to move the mouse. Yeah, so the delay on this, I can definitely feel something wrong with it. The weight doesn't feel right. It feels kind of unbalanced too. So just a lot of little issues. It's not that they're unusable, and yeah, if you're good enough, you can play with pretty much anything. But I mean, once you get used to good gaming mice, you're not going to go back to these things. You'll sell your kidney before you go back to these things.
So for this next one we've got, it's called a Fantech. Now you even get an authentic unboxing experience right here. Like, wow. That just doesn't look half bad.
This is the nicest of the lot.
It's called the G10, yeah? Wait, it's the Rhasta G10. Okay, this one I think honestly, just by the looks, if we're going by judging a book by its cover, we're gonna say this one's number 4 is looking like the lucky score for those people on a budget, but we'll see. And our friend Goatee Boaty, he is still around as well. He's not leaving. He's like, look, we're going to help you test these mice out. So thank you, Mr. Goatee Boaty.
Okay, so this one is actually pretty interesting. The shape is quite good. It's a SteelSeries Sensei shape, but a bit smaller. So I guess more like the DM3 Mini, but a bit bigger than that. The cable is long enough, as we said, which is great. It's a different sensor, and you can make this one spin out very easily. As you see there, it cannot track fast movements. It doesn't feel like it has a delay like the last one though, so I'm happy to play with it. In that sense, I just have to slow my game down, because as soon as I move it fast, it's not going to track. See if we can get a kill here. The weight is still pretty high. He's gonna kill me here. There he goes. So again, not unusable, but also not something I'm going to recommend. I mean, how much was this one?
I think that one was like $15.
Okay.
That was a little bit more expensive, I believe. So you're saying that number 2 is still, the Hongsund's still winning. Like, if you had to pick one of these 4 so far,
I would still be picking that first. I mean, that second one, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the Hongsund, whatever it is. For my setup though, obviously I need the longer cable, so... But I was rocket jumping with the Hongsund, and despite the sensor issues, at least it wasn't spinning out like this one was. It is, I should say. That should have hit. I'm pretty sure there's some pretty bad input delay on the buttons too. I mean, Quake Live can be pretty annoying, but...
So basically, in a nutshell, this G10 Rhasta, it looks good, cable's good, or decent, but at the end of the day, the sensor's kind of letting it down.
I think that's the main issue, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some other issues too with the input delay. I would say maybe 20 milliseconds at a guess. There's something that just definitely doesn't feel right when I'm trying to hit shots like that, but somehow hit anyway. Like I said, you can play with pretty much anything if you're me.
So you're saying you can play with a Microsoft Habit? You know those bricks? Like...
Absolutely. I thought the Habit was good. I never tried one.
Next collaboration we're doing, we're putting that... You guys, I don't know if you've seen this mouse or heard of this mouse. This thing was made like, I think it was over 10 years ago. And it was like, I seriously tried playing RTS with it one time. I could not move it. Like, this thing was just losing games for me. So I'm going to put Rocket Jump to the test next time we do use this mouse. Like, do a collaboration.
There are weights in there.
Oh, there are weights in there? Yeah, we want to get it.
Does it tell you how?
Maybe just rattle it. So here's mouse number 5. This is the Red Dragon, which by default has weights in it, but we can't, like, we're trying to get the thing open to take the weights out. Like, you twist it and it doesn't, like, come off.
Stops there.
Do you have a screwdriver? We'll just pry it off.
Why is that going out of game? Okay, so first thoughts on this mouse. The actual buttons, like, it's got thousands of extras, and they're bound to really silly things by default unless someone's changed them. So one is show desktop, which is really annoying. Another one I think hits tab. I mean, it might be okay in some situations, but not really. So first of all, the buttons are just too easy to hit. They're not well positioned. It's a massive, like, this thing's huge. It's taking up my entire palm. It's like an see that? Alright, back to the game. It's like an extended Death Adder, and in no good ways. I think Brian just said it was a laser sensor.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that is that laser sensors don't spin out, or not easily. So that's, like, in a cheaper mouse, you probably do want a laser sensor. But in a more expensive mouse, then you definitely want optical, because the problem with the laser one is they pretty much all have issues like delay, and if not delay, then bad jitter and all kinds of things. But it's playable, I'll give it that. I don't mind the sensor so much. It's just, obviously the weight is bad with all the weights in. It's just massive. It feels like my channel is all about finding a narrow grip width, and this is just as wide can be.
It's a behemoth.
So even for a larger hand, it's not going to be great for aiming unless your hand is super massive, in which case you'll be hitting all these extra buttons by accident constantly. So this mouse is pretty much not made for anyone. Maybe a kid who doesn't know any better, but other than that, I can't imagine anyone wanting this mouse at all.
So basically what you're saying is the Hongsund, at a cheaper price point, is still winning.
Yeah, it actually is.
Legit, I think. Well, they're the five like eBay and AliExpress gaming masks right there. Like, we tried a heap of them out, and looks like we've got a champion of the garbage tier.
Yeah, I agree with that verdict.
But we do have a special contender, because me being on my channel, I do focus on used price performance and stuff like that. We've got a special guest that's going to come in to this comparison, which I believe this mouse is like 13 years old now. the G9X. Now, I got this mouse from the viewer who sent in the Red Dragon, actually, sent us in this old mouse and said, you know, try and clean up some of these mice. And this was filthy to the point where I had to literally chuck out the whole outer shell on it. And that was okay, because this is what the pro Starcraft 2 players use in their competitions without the shell and everything. But I did need to get some new feet for it, which was like $3. So let's take a look at this used G9X can do well. As it, hey, I mean, it just may be an option for those on a budget who want to get the best price performance out of a mouse.
So now we've revived the G9X. It is back in business with some new mouse feet, and those mouse feet are working fine, yeah? Zai?
They are feeling good, but I'll get to the rest in a moment.
Okay, let's give him some time, quality time with, I mean, coming into this would be my pick. The shape does feel really nice on the G9X.
So this might look cool, but it's actually not, and I'll show you why in a moment. Watch this. That's a flick. It spun out very easily. It's an old mouse, so I guess we can't expect too much. And Brian said he liked the shape. I mean, I get the appeal, but this has really bad bulging sides, something Logitech are known for. And I would definitely change the sides on this mouse. And I think I can feel just there. I don't think that's a good place for the left click. So it's cool that they were trying new ideas, and I really don't want to judge the mouse too harshly because it is so old and it takes time to actually figure these things out. But I mean, if you're thinking about this in the year 2020 and beyond, I would say definitely not. There are way better mice that are even similar to this that will outperform it in every possible way, except maybe the extra buttons. No, you can get better ones for that too.
But how's the input lag compared to the eBay and AliExpress mice? And like when we're comparing to the eBay and AliExpress mice that we've got here, is the Hongsund beating the G9X?
Yes, it is.
Oh no!
So if you noticed, I didn't really spin that other mouse out. This one, I'm feeling like I have to be really careful, and the sense is just so jittery, and I think it's a laser sensor. So old laser sensors, really not great. Actually, even new laser sensors, really not great, but this definitely not great. You can actually play with the newer laser sensors, they just got input delay because they got smoothing on them. But this one, yeah, it's just, I would never use this in a game I was even remotely competitive in. It's so jittery, so I can't get smooth motion. Look at that. That's terrible. For contrast, that's a new sensor, laser sensor. Old laser sensor versus new. So I'll just do smooth, slow movement. And this one, it's going all over the place. It's not even smooth. And now we have an actual game going. Great. Anyway, verdict on this one, not good. Definitely some things to like about the mouse. I can see why it had such a fan club. But at the same time, I mean, it's just too old now. We've had so many good advancements with mice, you just wouldn't use this. I mean, that was a spin out just there. And it wasn't even that extreme.
So I finished up playing on the G10 Rhasta and also the Hongsund, and I think basically with the shape, one's suited more towards a palm gripper, that would be the Hongsund, and then the G10 Rhasta is suited more towards a claw or fingertip gripper, in that it's a bit smaller. So naturally I gravitated towards the G10 Rhasta. Admittedly, I don't play Quake like never, so it's a different sort of game. I'm noticing Zai is he does a lot of quick major movements, so having a sensor that performs is really important to him. But regardless, I've been watching him. I thought both the mice were okay. I mean, I did notice a little bit of input lag on both of them. But other than that, I thought like the buttons, the clicks were okay. The shape was decent. For me personally, I'd say for $10, they'd both be goers out of the 5 mouse that we had here off eBay and AliExpress. So basically I'm gonna say that the G10 Rhasta and the Hongsund, they're okay. I'd definitely personally step it up to like a G203 or a G102, which can be had for $20 if you can afford it. Or step it up to a Razer Death Adder, which can be had for around $20 as well. That'd be my picks for entry-level gaming mice, because I guess there's always something that's being skimped out with these mice at $10, whether it's the sensor or the chip, you know, the microcontroller they're using on board. Something's always going to give at this price point. And so at least at $20, you're getting something that's a great entry-level mouse that will still may even be your final choice.
So the verdict is, these ones are so terrible in too many ways that I just can't even bring myself to recommend them. These two, on the other hand, somewhat possible. I mean, for $10, I guess you can get away with it, but I would also recommend you saving up double that. $20, you can actually get a Logitech G102 off Amazon sometimes, when it's on special especially, and that's actually a top tier mouse. So if you just save your money for a little longer, you don't need to deal with the problems that these bring. You can actually get a proper mouse for a great price.
So there it is, guys, with cheap, no-name branded eBay and AliExpress mice. You guys have been hounding me for years now to get something like this done with Rocket Jump Ninja, and it's finally here. And the verdict, I guess, is that 2 of the 5 mice were passable, but really just save up that little bit extra and get something that is properly made, from the sensor to the chip to the build quality, and you'll just be having no like problems or not knowing if you need to do more, or if something's skipping out, as Rocket Jump demonstrated in a lot of these mice in Quake. Remember, your gaming mouse, when it comes to PC gaming, there are 2 really important things, and that is your monitor and also your mouse. And you want to make sure that the both of them are pretty good. For instance, if you've got a monitor with huge input lag, that's going to be costing you games. If you've got a mouse that's crap, that's going to be costing you the W as well. So that aside, we are going to get on out of here. We've got a mouse pad as well video coming up. A lot of people have been requesting that too. So we'll be looking at especially a brand called Artisan, where I bought Zai some Artisan mouse pads when I was in Japan. And so that video will be coming soon, so stay tuned for that. You can hit the sub button, ring the bell to get the moment the videos drop. Also, if you're seeing this on my channel, Tech City, you can go check out Zai over at Rocket Jump Ninja, the YouTube channel. Subscribe to him if you are interested in gaming mice. Big thanks to him for letting me come over and do this collaboration too. And basically, in terms of the question of the day, this video was pretty much one big question, so hopefully that answered that, and I'll catch you guys in another tech video very soon. Don't forget to hit that like button on the way out, and also let us know in the comments section below what you think of cheap gaming mice. Is it your thing, or would you rather spend the extra? Love reading your thoughts and opinions as always, and we'll see you next time. Peace out for now. Bye.